We are live. That's Dave Cause with Together Again. You're listening to Smooth 98.1, where we love music and we love life. And it's a Tuesday. What happens on Tuesdays from 11 till 11:50 is Office Journal. And Office Journal is dedicated to you and the best part of you, your development, your career growth, as well as your education. And that's why we have these sessions every Tuesday from 11 till 11:50. Today, we will be talking about something that you should totally grab a seat for. But before then, my name is Oluwaseun. And if you've been stepping away from your radio set, if you're worried and you don't want to lose out on anything, you can always take us with you everywhere and anywhere. What you can do is go to our website and stream live. Click on the listen live option. That is www.smooth91.fm. You'd see the listen live option, click on it, and then you can listen to us. Or you can just simply search for Smooth 91 FM on any radio streaming app or website, Smooth 91 FM, as long as you see the Love Music, Love Life tag. Yes, that's us. And we're currently streaming live on YouTube. It is youtube.com/smooth 91 FM Lagos. Again, youtube.com/smooth 91 FM Lagos. Okay, now that you have all the ways for you to be a part of this show, what are you looking to hear? All right, we're talking about how to leverage relationships in the workplace. And I remember how this came about in the conversation I had on the first Tuesday of this year, where we were talking about finance and how to have the right mindset. If you're going to have a lot of money and good money in 2024, there are some mindsets that needs to make the money and keep the money and multiply the money, especially for people who feel their salaries are too small or too little, and there is nothing you can do with the salaries. Guess what? Inflation has other plans for your salary as well. So you better have the plan for it. Now, I could not think of anybody that will do justice to that topic other than the person who started the thought process. She is the happy employee coach, and she has been in the business of helping you to get the best out of your workplace. I remember when she mentioned something like, your workplace or your salary is not the only benefit you get from your workplace. There are other benefits as well. Yes, you have the allowances. Yes, you have the HMO cover. Yes, you have the vacation and everything. But there are other things, and that includes your relationship, including the relationship with your boss. So guess what? We are talking about how to leverage a relationship in the workplace. And I do have the happy employee coach. She is Neka Jethro Iwobi. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see you again.
It's
And
a
good morning to our
pleasure.
listeners.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to make us happy, even though we are not your employees.
That's my mission. Make as many employees as possible happy. Yep.
It's a good thing to have you here. All right, so we can as well just dive right into it. I'm always intrigued anytime I remember how you said that your your salary, your allowances, all those bonuses are not necessarily the things you can get from your workplace. So I'd like you to start from there, maybe by
Mm.
telling someone who thinks this workplace is so depressing and just pay me my money, let me go. Or those who constantly say, I don't have any business with anybody in the workplace. Let me do my job and get out.
Thank you very much, Oluwaseun. And I think it's a very important place to start from because the way we view our workplace determines how we show up, right? If you view the workplace as somewhere depressing, annoying, I don't want to go to, I don't like the people there, you would show up that way. You will give off that energy. It's usually a vicious cycle because what happens is the energy you give off, you get back multiplied, right? So how you show up at work is very important to me. In fact, I think it's the determiner of everything. It determines how well you're able to use the salary. It determines how much of the benefits you're able to unlock. How you show up and how you view the workplace is important. So that for me is really critical. Now, some people show up at work thinking, "Oh, we're not here to make friends. Let's get the job done and get out." And it's a dangerous position to take, right? It's like a tree that wants to produce oranges but doesn't want the roots to go deep. It
Mm,
can't. Unfortunately, it can't. You cannot produce very well in a place you don't feel comfortable in a place, especially in today's world, in the industrial age where it was machines and we're walking into factories to press button and make sure it's packaged well and all of those things. Maybe you could work that way because generally it's very, very routine work, right? You are pressing a button, the soap is coming out, the milk is coming out, and all of that. But in today's world, there's a lot of service-based businesses where you require your genius, you require your whole self to produce effectively, right? Nobody's going to write down a script for you, Oluwaseun, at this stage and say this is how you say it when you come on air. It is you bringing your heart to the game that helps you to unlock the ideas, the way to sound, the words to use, who to watch, to learn from, the books to read to improve your vocabulary. That is personal. And that's what makes you you. And that's what brings out the genius in you, even in this thing that you think you are skilled at. So it's really important for us to understand that the workplace today is not driven by machines where you are pressing buttons. To be the best, your heart has to be in it. And that's why I'm very big on relationships and being humane and being a human being at work. Okay, you've got to show up with your full self and be human. So don't go showing up at work thinking their wala is too much. I don't want to make friends, or oh, that place is very, very depressing. The more you think that way, the worse it becomes. Okay,
Mm.
so my message when I'm talking about how you show up at work is really saying, ladies and gentlemen, sit down and ask yourself, what do I enjoy about this job?
Mm.
Right? I'm beginning to answer the question, how to find this, right? What do you enjoy about the job? And when I ask people say, oh, nothing is all depressing. No, you would, if they were killing you, you would have resigned since. There's something that you have going for you. Let's start from the one that you can see.
Mm.
The salary is coming. Let's start from there. You have somewhere you can dress up in the morning and go to. Let's start from there. And be intentional. Don't take it for granted. I'll
Mm.
pause.
Thank you for laying that solid foundation and background for the discussion today. Now, if you're joining for the first time, this is Office Journal. We're discussing how to leverage relationships, and I do have the happy employee coach with me. Now, when we come back, we will be touching on those who have been burnt before, maybe those who try to engage, those who try to open their heart and they gave their all and they were burnt. How do they recover from that? And then we go on to discuss how do you even start building relationship maybe with your colleagues, your subordinates, your boss, and those ones who are difficult to relate with in the workplace. So we will break all of that down right after this. You're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. I was about to say Soul Sisters. Oh my God. So we have about a 2-minute break and we'll be back.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, Precious. Hi, Mavidosu, I guess.
Terra Oil helps mom pour her love in the tasty, nourishing meals she cooks for her family. Golden Terra Oil, pour your love.
Hi, this is Brian. Music to me is everything. It's that little moment when you're sad. It's that so love music.
I forgot. Mine is inside the locker. Thank you, Precious. Hmm? Right now? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mavid. I'll just stick with Mavid or Mavido or Mavido. I'm not sure.
marriage with me, Oluwaseun, I'm precious and ever since.
Okay.
Except
We're back.
my right here.
You should always keep it tuned, not just for the great music, but also for the educative sections as well. We get to have sessions like this one, which is Office Journal, where we're talking about something that will help you become a better person, that will put more money in your pocket, that will, you know, create that long lasting thing that you can build legacies and all the stuff because you need relationship. I was talking to someone minutes or hours ago and I said one of the greatest discovery that I had in 2023, I think, yeah, 2023, was the understanding that money, the cash, is not money. Money is in a lot of things. Money is in people. Money is in wealth, health rather. Money is in ideas. Money is in a lot of places, but there is just that focus on cash. And as a result of that, it determines what we prioritize and what we major on. Just the same way my guest, the happy employee coach, says, your workplace, the way you show up to the workplace determines how you work and how you give your all. So once you put it at the back of your mind that it's a toxic workplace, there is nothing good that can come out of your Nazareth, then Houston, we have a problem. So that said, now for those who already think that the workplace can give them nothing other than their salary, their cash, you have thought wrong. For those who have opened their hearts to build relationships and have been burnt, how do they recover?
Okay, so I'd like to say first of all that relationships is what makes us human beings, right? We are social beings, okay, and it's really important for us to understand that if you are going to show up in a place where, like I say to employees, you are spending upwards of 70% of your waking hours. Again, I said 70% at the minimum of your waking hours. So if you calculate how much time you spend awake and how much time you spend in the office, minimum 70-80% of that time you spend awake is spent with your work colleagues or doing work. And so you must be intentional about how you relate with people there. Okay. There's several ways to unpack the question you've asked, but let me say that there are 5 critical work relationships. Okay. There's relationships with your boss, your boss's boss, your who I call your backup, right? So those that report to you, your so there's your boss, your boss's boss, your backup, your peers, all right? As a different kind of relationship, and then your is it 4 or 5? I think it's four. Four. So your boss, your boss's boss, your backup, and then your peers. And then no, you have a bestie, your office bestie, right? Who is someone you're supposed to talk to. We can begin to unpack those relationships, right? But the first thing is you first of all have to agree that is important. So it's your boss, your boss's boss, your bestie, your backup, and your band. Yes, 5 of them. Your boss, your boss's boss, your bestie, your backup, that's your team for those who supervise people, and then your band, which is your peers, those that you're the same level with, and all of that, right? So those are 5 work relationships. And I expand this with stories and all of that in my book, Who You Should Know to Succeed at Work. So there's a book I've written, Who You Should Know to Succeed at Work. When you go into work, understanding that these 5 people have different things they want from you. And when you go into work, understanding that your boss is the reason why you were hired. This is how I show up at work and has helped me to ace my career in the last 16 years, is knowing that the primary reason I was hired is to help my boss succeed. If the company could make more money without me, they won't hire me. It's not a charity case. It's very simple. If they realize that they don't need me to make the same amount of money that they are making, then why have that cost? Right? Now, if you've shown up at work and you feel like you have been burnt by any of these relationships, either your own boss, your boss's boss, your band, your peers have set you up or whatever, your backup, your team has shown you shaggy, right? Or you don't have an office bestie, or you trusted somebody and the person just took your gist all around the place. Human beings will home. Human beings will do. What is important is that you ask yourself, where did I get it wrong? I say to people that in selecting a bestie, there are criteria to determine. Do you share the same values, right? Have you tested the waters? Sometimes it's your band, your peers. How have you shown up for them as well? Because if people feel like you are operating from the place of I'm a silo, I know it all, I can do it by myself, there some human beings to go as far as trying to set you up. Some people can go that far. Some people can see you walking into a hole and say, Shebi, they do like say now you do pass. You are the one that doesn't want to teach people what you know. You are the one that is all of this and that. They leave you alone to go and struggle. So how are you showing up to your peers? Because your peers are a formidable pillar for your success at work. They're the ones that will tell you if you join a new place, like, this guy, this is how he likes to talk. This girl, this guy, this how they like to talk. This junior person, don't mind them, or they have that senior person's ear. Anything they are doing, be careful. How do you show up? They say that when a chicken gets into a new place, it stands with only one leg before it puts the second leg down. So when you get into a new work environment, you must be very intentional about how you show up to these five groups of people, especially your band, those who are in the same level, who may either feel threatened by you, who may feel like you are off, who may read things. You must spend time being careful about those relationships. If you've been burnt, realize that you also have hurt people,
Mm.
right? And then you say to yourself, I am going to engage with caution, i.e., I would share and see what the person shares back. Okay. Share things that I'm safe sharing already. Okay. While being professional and respectful at the same time. Read their body language. There are people who have walked up to you. Maybe you want to hug the person, and the person is like, you too, it's not by force. Do you understand? Some people have tried to engage with, and in fact, they are proof flashing in my head and try to, oh, hey, how are you? Hey, hey. And the person is like, oh, hi. So, there's no quarrel. Oh, hi. The person likes, oh, hi. So, when you're building relationships, you must be sensitive and intelligent about it. Some bosses will like to come in and talk and gist you about their families and stuff. Some other people don't even want you to know their children's names. Does it make them a bad person? No, it just makes them a person. So you need to be intentional. But trust me, when you invest in relationships in the office, I was doing something last week and my husband says to me, this thing you are doing for this senior colleague, you need to get it done. No? You need to get certain type of voice in the room when you are not there. So you must be intentional about that. Okay. You will be burnt, but how you show up and the intention of your heart is really important. Read the room. Don't just trust people and pour out all your life. I remember when I wrote my book, Why Your Boss Prefers Your Colleague. One of my peers in the industry, not in my office, but my peers reached out to me and said, Neka, I wish I had read this your book before now. Now I see how I set myself up, because she went on to keep talking so much about her personal issues with her boss, who then turned around to use it against her. So, I came late today because my nanny XXX. I am stressed, this, that, that. Oh, this work is getting too much. Oh, what did the boss do? What did they do? Management decided to hire somebody else for her role while she was still there. Yes.
Whoa. Whoa.
So that's why I say you've got to be careful. But once you approach it knowing that I'm a human being and I'm supposed to be humane and connect to people at work, rule one. Two, check people's values. Three, read the room. But you cannot now go in saying, because I don't want to engage in all these three things. Therefore, everybody mind their business. I don't talk to anybody. I come in, I do my work, and oh no, you will set yourself up for failure, because there are soft things that won't be written down in any handbook. There are soft things that won't be written down in any email, but that once you have relationships, people can let you know, right? I know somebody, I can share stories with you, Oluwaseun. Something happened between me and a very senior colleague, and a pair reached out and said, I need you to do X. And I was explaining to the person, see what happened. Before I know it, somebody else was calling me to say, I heard XYZ, what happened? That I know you, Neka. You would normally have reached out to me, this kind of thing really happened. So tell me what happened. And I could not thank God enough that I was intentional about building a relationship with that kind, or those kind of senior colleagues, such that when the person heard, we were like, he's unlike Mecca. Let me call her and hear from her. And so the person called me. I'm like, no, that's not that. The person's like, oh, I knew it. That I should call you. But imagine that you are showing up at work feeling, no, I'm only here to work. These people just make impressions about you issues are discussed, you never get to know. Somebody's giving you funny face and hit, you don't even know why.
You have no clue what they have heard or been told. Oof. We're talking about how to leverage relationships on Office Journal. And if you're just joining for the first time, you are very welcome. We hope that you are writing these things, and we hope that you actually take them into consideration as you build a relationship in your workplace. Now, after this, I want to talk a little bit about office politics, how you should play it or you should not play it at all. And then we go on to some of those things that you can do with the relationship that you build in the workplace and the don'ts that you should have in your mind when you're building relationships in the workplace, and maybe businesses or ideas you should not discuss with them and should discuss with them. You're listening on to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. We'll be right back. So it's a very short break, and we are back in 15 minutes. Sorry, 15
15
seconds.
minutes or seconds.
15 seconds. All right. You're welcome, Precious. It's a pleasure to know. It's helpful.
Happy to hear.
Yeah, so I'm live on my Instagram page.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1, and we are discussing how to leverage relationships. I would say you save the stream, and how you can save the stream is going to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/smooth 91 FM Lagos. Again, youtube.com/smooth 91 FM Lagos. That's where you find the stream. You can drop your comment as well. And if you have been listening, there is a WhatsApp line. WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981. Again, WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981. While the call line, if you have any question or you even want to rant about something that has happened in your workplace, the call line is 01-448-9981. And we are also live on YouTube, like I mentioned. So you can use the live chat option to drop your questions or your comments. If you have any questions, yes, you can drop them. And on my Instagram page as well, if you do have any question, by all means, drop it in the comment section. So my guest is an author of a number of books, including why your boss
Why
prefers
your
your
boss prefers.
yes. And I believe how to make more with your salary or something.
Who is using your salary
Who,
and who
who
you should know to succeed at work.
Yes, thank you for those very interesting titles. I remember first time I saw them, I said, okay, this will be very instructive and straight to the point. So this morning we're talking about how to leverage relationship. And before the breather, we're telling us about the things you should be aware of when you're building the relationships, and even you not being intentional with building relationship, because everything that you do is building something one way or the other.
Yes.
How you show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I say to people that what you say, do not say. What you do and do not do can, will, and is being used for or against you.
Oof, that's a
What
big.
you say, do not say. What you do not do can, is, and will be used for or against you. So not saying is a challenge. Saying can be a challenge. What are you going to say? You've got to be intentional. Nobody can tell your story more than you, right? So you must be intentional in how you communicate the value you're bringing to the table. What you do and do not do, the volunteering jobs you take or the volunteering tasks you do not take, tell something about you. You can't say, I just mind my business. Minding my business is a form of communication as well, right? It says to people, I really don't want to be here. I'm just here because I have to. So don't stress me, right? And so you've got to, that's when I say this, I say to people, so you've got to be intentional. Don't leave things to chance. Don't let people just be somebody, be known for something intentionally in the office. Don't leave it to chance. Don't just say dress well, be known for dressing, but be known to be able to add value, be known as someone who will go extra to make the sacrifices, right? So it's really important that you do that.
Thank you. Let's talk about office politics. The game that happens in the office that determines who gets promoted or who gets the extra bonus or who gets sacked sometimes. I remember seeing a video, it was a funny video, one of those content on social media. But so one person walks up to another person in the workplace and says, press this button. If you do, your colleague gets sacked
Right.
and you get $500 or something like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
was shocked that some people pressed it for their colleague to be sacked. I'm thinking, whoa, you need to watch your back. So, office politics, what do you have to say about it and how should you play it or not play it?
Thank you, Rashio. I think it's a very important question. And I get asked this when I talk about visibility at work, right? I get asked all the time. Oh, Neka, coach, what's the difference between visibility and office politics? Please, because I don't want to play office politics, it's dirty. My question and what I say to people is your visibility is your responsibility. Okay. What people think about you and how they perceive the value you bring to the table is very important. I share this to tell you, I tell this story in my book, Why Your Boss Prefers Your Colleague, to buttress this point. A couple many years ago, many years ago, I walked up to a senior colleague. I was trying to launch a project, and I had heard that this senior colleague had a relationship in that particular industry, and I needed to meet someone senior in the industry for that project to go live. So I went to the person. The person was like, "Oh, go and prepare a slide deck, a letter." And to my mind, I didn't think I needed to go through that kind of wahala to get to the what I needed to get done. So I left the office. I was like, "Hi, there has to be an easier way to get this thing done. Not all this." I tend to be told I like things short and I don't like long. So it's one of the feedback I've gotten before. Your mails are too short. Try and make them maybe. If you can write it in two sentences, why five? And that's how I think. But again, I understand there's need sometimes to be a bit more verbose and all of that. So anyway, back to the story. I sit and I think or pray about it, get a different approach. Get certain other doors unlocked that got the project to go live and we made money from the project, right? So this senior colleague is not in my direct team, so he's in a different team. But I was trying to leverage the relationship, and then one day it occurs to me that before they enter meeting, and this woman will say, "Oh, that Neka came to meet her and didn't come back." No, so I walked up to the person's office. Oh, I came to meet you a couple of months ago to ask for XYZ. Well, I was able to find a different way around it. We did the project, we made X money, we are able to break into XYZ number of companies, and oh, well done, Neka. Fantastic. I knew you would. So imagine I didn't go to have that conversation, and maybe there's a meeting happening at senior level, whatever level, and the matter is, what projects has she done, or just something happened somewhere. Oh, I'm there to help her to do a project, and I didn't hear from her again. That would be the narrative. So when you say about avoiding office politics, I say to you, what stories in your boss's minds about you? What do they think about you and the value you bring to the table? Do you know? If you don't know, then you need to know. And that's what politics is about. It's about telling your story to the right ears in the way that creates impact for you and advances your career. Telling your story to the right ears in a way that creates impact for you and advances your career. And it doesn't just have to be internal, it can be external as well. And that's why we say LinkedIn is your go-to place as an employee. What's the narrative about you on LinkedIn? What are you sharing about? Are you exposing what you know and building a profile that says this person knows their job well? Trust me, it supports your growth internally. I can guarantee you that. When you do work that is good and a third party tells you great job, you are in a meeting. I was in a meeting one time with some people outside my company, so a different company like a co-project and stuff. And they send me an email saying, well done, you've done so well. I forwarded the mail to my boss. Are you intentional about? So that's what many people they say, oh, my work will speak for itself. And that's where they now say, oh, this office don't recognize hard work. People, it's God that looks at the heart. Man looks at the outward.
What?
It's God that looks at the heart. Man, is what we see we're going to assess you by. So how are you telling those stories? How are you telling your boss that, oh man, this thing took me 4 hours to do. I had to explain to Oluwaseun, I had to explain to Teju what to do, and then they did it together and we had to review. While we were reviewing, we noted this, and therefore we had to change this. If you don't tell those stories, who will? Like that ad says. So if you don't do these things, you are just that's the problem. So you think office politics is pushing somebody down to grow? No, leave that one. It's advancing and amplifying the value you bring to the table. And trust me, the human mind is programmed to remember negatives, unfortunately. So if you don't tell the story of your positives, you are doing yourself a disservice. Doesn't matter how great a job you do. The human mind remembers negative. That's why negative gist flies. That's why you pick up a newspaper and that's the truth. So if you don't do a good job of amplifying the positives and the value you bring to the table, you are doing your career a disservice. And that for me is what office politics is about. It's amplifying your value, amplifying your visibility. So yes, people do it. So for example, when I say things like build a relationship with your boss's boss, people say, won't that cause problem? My boss will do. I say, what's your heart intent? Are you doing it for the view of putting your boss down? Are you doing it for a view of to show that I want this team to go forward? They are two different things. And I give examples when I coach of how I've done this, how I have presented an idea to my boss's boss, like a thought of the team. And my boss's boss says, oh, yeah, I agree with that. And I go back to my boss and I say, oh, do you think we should do it like this? And it becomes our idea, not NECA's idea. So, what's your heart's intention? That's why there's a problem. And that's why people say, oh, it's dirty. It's not. What we see is what we judge you by. That's human beings.
Very, very instructive. Thank you so much for that lucid explanation. Now you have a better hang of office politics. And like she said, your visibility is your responsibility. If you leave your story to be told by chance, then whatever comes your way, take it that way. It's just the same way we complain about Hollywood retelling African stories, and we're not happy with the way they're doing it, or even the actors that are being used. And we say we don't like it, but what is Africa doing about that? So at the end of the day, if there is any form of office politics you want to play, it's for you to represent yourself well and put yourself at the forefront. Detail your achievement and progress. Like she said, very interesting. I can't get over that. God looks at the heart, man looks at the results. So you need to toot your own horn if need be. You're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1, and we're talking about how to leverage relationships. If you have any question, WhatsApp line is very much active. That's 0809 444 0981. Again, the WhatsApp line is 0809 444 0981. Please do include your name when you are sending that message. And if you're calling, the call line is 01 448 9981. Now, what do you do with those relationships, and what should you not do with those relationships you get from work?
Okay. So I will pack this into two categories, professional and personal relationships, right? There are professional relationships, which are your colleagues, comprising your boss, your boss's boss, your band, your bestie, your backup, your backup, right? In some of those, there may be a level of personal relationships involving, right? For example, I've worked with two or three people for the last 10, 12 years. There's no way we will not get a bit personal, right? Oh, we see each other, talk about each other's children and stuff like that. So that happens. There's some people that you just stay professional with, right? It's important that you are clear in your mind what it is and that you're able to build trust with whoever it is you say you want to get a bit personal with. Within the personal, there are personal where there are boundaries, and there are people like me who found love at work, right? So we cross from professional to personal to personal, if I'll put it that way, right? And I met my husband where I worked, where I still work. He had to leave. Married I'm going on 13 years now. So we met at work, right? And there had to be that clear distinction. And that one, I don't even want to go into that. That's a different conversation in terms of what I consider the rules of engagement when it comes to romantic work relationships. That's a different topic entirely. I guess we'll talk another time. But with respect to the relationship with your boss, for example, I say to people that your boss wants to know that you have their back. They may not say it to you in that way. They may make you feel like you are not adding value. They may not acknowledge your value. But that's why you were hired, to help them create more results. Right? And I find that's right for members.
Okay, so your audio is a bit bad. Can you hear me? Oh no. Something is going on with the audio. I can't hear you. Yeah, it's shaky.
It looks like I am frozen.
Can you hear me? How about now?
Nigeria is Nigeria.
I'm just here. I'll hear one word and then it will go off, and then I'll hear something that sounds like bubbles, and you come back. Hello? No, I cannot hear you. Let's see if we can fix that after this. You're listening to Office Journal 98.1.
Let's take a
No, so what I'm hearing are just crackling sounds. Your video is still.
Okay, I'm switching. I'm
Okay,
switching.
great, great. This is good. This is good.
Oh, I no, I've already switched.
Oh, no
Ah,
wonder.
okay.
That's good.
Let's see if it's let me switch off back and see. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good this
Let me go
way.
back to where I was before. Okay, cool. So it means it was a glitch.
Yeah, it was a glitch.
No, it looks like it's still not good.
All right, so we go
Okay,
back.
my video moving.
Yes, you're moving. Do you want to switch to that good one, the second option?
I'm thinking of switching, but I wanted to just know if the one we're
This
on
is
before
good.
was still okay.
Yeah, this is still good. So this is the one we're on before.
Yes. While I was about to switch, you said it was good, so I just left it.
All right, so
But
this
I
is
don't
good.
know if we can trust it. I'm wondering if we can trust.
Would have to take the
Okay,
risk. And
let's
if not,
see.
you can always switch in the middle. Plus, we have 8 more minutes. I know time flies
Mm-hmm.
by.
Yes, yeah, I'm okay. So fine. Let's carry on and see then.
Yo, T Coco. Good to have you, man. So we just come back from this and then we go back to what you were talking about. I think we should have a full episode of on office romance. I did not know you met your man at the workplace. Interesting
I
stuff.
did though. I did.
I can imagine all the side eyes you got.
Ah. Hmm. Hmm.
All right, we're coming back. Love music and love life. This is Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. And we've been talking a whole lot about how to leverage relationships in the workplace. And we hope that you've come to some extent of clarity about the subject matter. My guest is an author as well as a finance coach and, let's say, employee renovation mindset coach. That's what I like to call her in this instance. She is Neka Jethro Iwobe, and she's joining me via Zoom. You can check out the stream on YouTube, which is youtube.com/smooth92 FM Lagos. And if you have any question, WhatsApp line is open. WhatsApp is 0809 444 0981. You can send in your messages, just include your name. And if you'd like to call, 01448 9981. So before that glitch in network, you were explaining something.
Yeah, I'm even trying to get my train of thoughts back. Your boss's boss, your boss who was I think I was talking about, right?
Okay, speaking of buses boss, I do have a question on IG from Trent
Okay.
underscore O, who says, when you say build a relationship with your boss's boss, what do you mean? I feel it's wrong to build a relationship with your boss's boss. It creates some level of disrespect and friction between you and your boss. There's meant to be a level or chain of reporting or idea sharing.
So here's what I mean. Be visible to your boss's boss. If your boss is not in the room, what will your boss's boss have to say about you and your work? How do you do this? Just two quick things. Make sure that at meetings you are speaking up, right? Make sure that when you are engaging with your own boss, you are bringing in ideas based on what you've heard from your boss's boss or from them. So, for example, oh, the last time we had a meeting, Oga XYZ said this. I'm just wondering how we can incorporate it into this particular project. So, that intentionality is important. When you meet them in the lobby, say hello, right? You see that, oh, they're not around for a bit. How was your vacation? They go for a meeting, they close a deal. Man, I'm so excited that we close this deal. Show that you are in the company and for the company. You're not just here to just work and make money, but you're present. So I'm not saying go and badmouth your boss. That's the problem. Or go and do as if, oh, I know better. I can do the job. No, it's being intentional about being visible to this person. Let me stop there.
I want to take you further. What if your boss has a problem with you building a relationship with your boss's boss?
So it's how you go about it. And if they do have a problem, you need to find out what is the problem. Are they afraid? Are they worried about losing their job? And you're not going to do it like, oh, I'm trying to. Yeah, it's just you see it this way. It's like you are driving. You know how you can drive past a place so often, and you don't see a particular building until one day someone says that building is there, and then you see it. You want to be that building that stands out. That amongst all the 10 people in the team, somehow the value you are bringing to your boss, your contributions at meeting ring a bell,
Mm.
right? You're showing up. Even the way you dress can communicate. The way you say good morning, the way you are intentional about greeting this person when you walk into the office, those things can communicate. You are doing it because you want the person to have an image of you. Now, if your boss has a problem, I'm wondering exactly how they're going to tell you, don't greet Oga.
And they'll
So
be
you've
too
got to be, so you're not doing it, as I said, you're not doing it because you're trying to take their job. The heart posture is very important. Are they going to say, don't take or don't speak up at the meeting? So you have a meeting. Let's even assume you have a meeting with your own boss directly on a particular thing, and you get into the meeting and like the person is talking about it, like, oh, one other way to look at it is this. I think that if we do this other way, so be intentional about that is what I'm talking about.
All right. Thank you. Wilson on WhatsApp says, what I gathered from what your guest has said so far, in summary, is that workplace is all about teamwork, not individuality. You work as a team. We should be open-minded. We should appreciate one another. Suggestions towards company aims and objectives. Indeed, good bosses should be assured that the team he has can deliver and get the job done. The best assets, the job done when they're not around. The best asset a good boss has is a reliable team that can even go the extra mile to beat customer satisfaction, which is the greatest joy. Thank you and have a great day. Well, you too, Wilson. Thank you for your message. All right, so quickly, let's go back to the relationship and what you can do with them after you have built them.
Okay, so the relationships that will useful for you just in the office where you are. The relationships that will open doors for you outside the office. When I wrote my very before I started teaching about being the happy employee coach, I wrote a book, Find It Bible Games, right? And it's a book of puzzles and poems. And it was my colleagues that first started buying that book and telling people around them about the book. When I say that we've sold over 10,000 copies of that book, 60%, 10% of that of those sales came through work relationships. People I met in the office, people who introduced me to somebody outside the office. So that's one benefit. The second thing when you're intentional about relationships is that when they hear stuff that your boss said or that is about to happen, you get to know. You can leverage people's experiences. When you're intentional about building a relationship with senior colleagues, you can leverage their relationship. They can open doors for you, even to their peers who may not know you. Somebody reached out to a very senior colleague in my office saying, oh, I need someone to be a moderator at an event, right? I need a person for tomorrow on. Oh, I think person says, oh, I think Neka can do it. Neka, are you available tomorrow or next tomorrow at 10 o'clock to moderate? I'm like, book review next tomorrow. Hey, when will I review? I can do it. You know what that has unlocked for me? Back to back opportunities because there's a visibility line there. I have spoken up at events. I have moderated events in the office, right? I've engaged this person one on one. So that when an opportunity came, my name came to mind.
Hmm.
Then there are rooms you cannot enter. This one, there are rooms you can't enter. Those are the people that will speak up for you.
Hmm.
You don't want those meetings to happen and then nobody can say anything about you or your work ethic or your personality or how committed you are to the team. That's the worst place to be in. You want people to be able to say, oh yeah, I do know her. Oh, it's true. She helped with this. She helped with that. Oh, he was one that introduced us to XYZ. Oh, he was one that worked on this project that helped us to succeed, working with within operations and finance and this. Those are some examples.
I wish we could take more examples. Unfortunately, the time says no, and we have to pack it up and wrap it up. But I know in my heart of heart that we're going to have you back soonest, maybe in February, definitely in
Yeah.
February, because
Yeah.
aside a continuation of this topic, I want us to talk about office romance. You met your husband in the workplace. How did that happen? I want to know. And I'm sure somebody's
Definitely.
itching, especially in this time and age of work husband and work wife. I can never stop
Mm.
that thing. I'm bringing two spoons to work, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so
So we need to have another session in February, and I'm looking forward to that already. Thank you.
definitely. Thank you, Oluwaseun, for having me. Absolutely enjoyed myself.
I did as well. Thank you. And your social media handles?
Okay, I'm at the Happy Employee Coach on Instagram. On LinkedIn, it's Neka Jethro Wabi. So just look for Neka Jethro. You'll find me. And I write every day, sometimes twice a day, on finance, on dealing with your boss, on the dilemmas of a working mom, different topics to just help you enjoy your work life.
Thank you very much. I will close with this message from Anne, who says, being close to your boss and all others up that ladder is key. Sometimes it's the little things like telling your boss where to hang out. Yep, know where to sow the seed, know how to sow it, know the time, look at the facial expression, look at the body language as well. All those things matter. I'm so glad that we had this conversation. Thank you. And thank you to everybody who has contributed and been a part of it, from WhatsApp to the live stream on YouTube to the live stream on my IG page. Thank you. Let's do this again next week. Same time, 11 till 11:50 on Tuesday. Office Journal is the name of the show, and Smooth 98.1 is the dial. I'll be with you on Casbah from 12 p.m. till 4 p.m. playing you African music and making sure that you have a productive time wherever it is that you are. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll reach out for us to have a chat again in February.
100%. That's fine. No,
Thank
and I
you.
will
So I'll
chat.
share the live stream, the link to this one with
Please.
you later. Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right. Take care, Rashim. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.